What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Photon / Galaxy cards in the upcoming core set Photon Hypernova. This releases in the OCG following Darkwing Blast, and I know people are definitely excited about it because Photon / Galaxy is definitely a fan favorite archetype. We have seen them get a lot of support over time, but more often than not, the support either ends up being okay or underwhelming, so I'm cautiously optimistic that they're going to get some good buffs here. Blackwing's definitely got some decent stuff for Darkwing Blast. I don't know whether or not it's going to be enough to push them over the top beyond any kind of rogue level, but I've read at least one of these cards and I'm pretty optimistic about that one in particular, but one card does not make the solution for an entire archetype, and we have typically seen a lot of new archetypes be really powerful right off the bat. Things like Tearlaman and Sprite are both really strong, so it's going to be interesting to see. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the video. If you guys do enjoy, please hit the like button and subscribe, and click the bell icon if you want to stay notified with all the newest videos and updates and all of that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with Photon Emperor. It says if this card is sent to the graveyard, except from the field, while you have a Photon or Galaxy monster on the field or in your grave, you can special summon this card in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. After you normal or special summon this card, you can normal summon one light monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. So a lot of things going on here. It's a level 8 light warrior, so it has the light typing, which is obviously good. I think almost all the Galaxy cards, if not all Galaxy cards, do. But what I really like about this is the fact that you can send it to grave by either discarding, milling, whatever, and get a revival. And some of the Galaxy cards do combo really well with this, especially because you don't necessarily want to have it on the field in order to be able to pull this effect off, and that gives you the option to get another rank 8 play to kind of kickstart what's going with your different discard outlets and such. I believe Galaxy Expedition is one that requires you to discard, so that setup seems, right off the bat there, but it does a lot. It gives you additional normal as well, so it's self-recursion with additional summoning. This one's definitely pretty good, so we're off to a promising start. Galaxy Summoner, can't help but see Alistair the Invoker in that artwork in some capacity, is a level 4 light spellcaster. It says if this card is normal or special summon, you can target one Galaxy or Photon monster in your grave, except Galaxy Summoner, special summon it in defense position. You can target one other light monster you control that has a level. Its level becomes 4 until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So it's pretty solid. The self-revival is great. It doesn't negate the effects of the monster that it brings back, which is another really useful tool, and it's obviously a hard once per turn because you could very easily abuse this if it wasn't, but it doesn't have any limitations or restrictions on what monsters bring back, no level restrictions or anything of that nature, and I believe based on the way it's worded, you can even bring back one of your Xyz or something and then go ahead and use that to overlay into a bigger, rank up Galaxy monster, so it's got that going for it, and being able to manipulate levels to 4 with no additional restrictions is kind of cute too. I don't think there's a ton of rank 4s that are played, but there are definitely some that are Galaxy specific that can do a lot to help you tutor out your Galaxy as Photon Dragon or to advance your plays forward, so it's definitely a good piece for the deck. It doesn't feel like it does a whole lot in today's metagame, but it does feel like in terms of Galaxy support, it's pretty good. Karibo, love the art. I'm always a sucker for a cool Karibo card, so this one is no exception. It's Karibo basically turned into a Galaxy Eyes, which is great. Level 1 Light Fiend. It is always treated as a Galaxy card. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can discard this card, special summon one Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand or deck, then change the attack target to it. Then you can attach this card from your graveyard to one Xyz monster on the field as material. If a Photon and or Galaxy monster you control be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So the built-in protection is pretty good, especially because it's not super hard to get it in the grave. Of course, being battle reliant is definitely a major setback on this, but it's not the worst battle hand trap I've ever seen. I mean, your opponent can just attack and you basically get a Galaxy Eyes out for free. I mean, if this had come out back when Photon Shockwave was a thing, it would have been absolutely busted, but obviously we're very far removed from that. Unless I'm missing something, I don't think this one is all that great, but it's definitely really cool for the collection, and it's not terrible. There might be ways to even get it engraved or to utilize it as a, a first turn play where you have this engraved to have protection going forward, but I don't know whether or not that's actually going to be the case. As much as I like it on paper, I don't think it's actually all that good. So I've got to take the nostalgia glasses off for that one. Galaxy 100 is a continuous spell that says when this card is activated, you can send one Photon or Galaxy card from your deck to the graveyard. All right, so maybe that's the way you get it there. I didn't even think about that. If Galaxy has Photon Dragon is special summoned to your field, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and apply one of these effects. You can only use that effect once per turn. Banish one monster from their extra deck, special summon one number monster from their extra deck to your field. You can only activate one Galaxy 100 per turn. So, summoning a Galaxy has Photon Dragon, look at your opponent's extra deck, banish a monster is pretty good. There's no drawbacks or restrictions there, so you can certainly counter specific strategies pretty well, and we know that the extra deck is a massive part of every meta deck for the most part nowadays, and being able to take an opponent's number monster is kind of funny. I just don't think there's too many that see play, so I don't know how often this is really going to come up. I really do like that first effect, though, specifically because I'm fairly certain the first effect will allow you to combo really well with the first card we discussed here, which is Photon Emperor. I think Photon Emperor can basically just be milled from the deck by activating that spell, and then gives you the free special summon so that you can continue to go into your other plays. I do like this. The mill from deck is pretty good, and that secondary effect, nothing to sleep at, especially because, you know, the power that can come from being able to get rid of a specific piece in your opponent's extra deck that they need to move their strategy forward is definitely not something to be underestimated. So not bad. It's searchable by some of the Galaxy cards too. It's pretty good. NUMERON Creation is a regular spell that says this card is always treated as a Galaxy-ized card. If 3 or more light dragon monsters with 3,000 or more original attack are on the field, special summon one dragon number exceeds monster from your extra deck, then attach this card to it as material. You can only apply this effect once per turn. I don't know why it's worded that way. It might just be a translation thing. This is really tricky to pull off. If 3 or more light dragon monsters with 3,000 or more original attack. So I guess if there's ways to cheese out Galaxy Eyes and get him out where his attack is 0, maybe with things like Galaxy Expedition or Galaxy Zero, where you're bringing it back and then you play this and you cheese out a big number, you get materials on it. But and maybe something like NUMERON Dragon, which is ironically depicted in the art here, would be a way to make that work. But I don't know. I don't think this is very good. I think that's very specific. And even if there are ways to get those light dragons on the field, I feel like there's just going to be better ways to utilize them and do things with them than this. But maybe I'm wrong. If you guys think this is good, let me know. It's definitely like a neat card conceptually, but I just don't think it's going to do all that much. Photon Deceleration is a normal trap. This is take one Photon or Galaxy continuous spell or trap from your deck and either add it to your hand or place it face up on the field. If this set card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect during their turn, and you control Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon or an Xyz monster that has Galaxy Eyes as material, you can activate this effect. It becomes the end phase of this turn. So this is actually kind of cool. If you have Galaxy Eyes out and your opponent like gets rid of this with Lightning Storm or anything of that nature, basically you end their turn, which can certainly be, you know, troublesome, but that's assuming you know, few things that you can kind of make this work. I like the concept, and being able to get your Photon or Galaxy continuous spell or trap means you can obviously grab Galaxy 100, but Galaxy 100's effect specifically says when this card is activated, and what concerns me about that is that this wording here seems to suggest you're just placing it face up on the field. I don't know if that's actually activating it, and that's where these rough, you know, fan translations come in. I'd like a little clarification on that if anyone's aware, but I think if it activates it, then it might be really good because you can really use this as a combo piece while also knowing that if the opponent does pop it, you have, you know, the ability to basically end their turn. Pretty neat overall, not a hard once per turn. I don't hate it. It's just traps are, you know, very hit or miss, and this one leans towards being more of a miss, but I think it has potential depending on how the rest of the deck kind of shakes out. Number C62, Neo Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. They are making these names long, but I will say the artwork is amazing. This needs 3 level 8 light monsters. You can also exceed some of this card by using a number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon you control as material. At the start of your battle phase, you can attach one material from this card. This card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during this battle phase. If this card has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as material, it gains these effects. Unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, gains attack equal to the combined levels and ranks of all monsters attached to it as material, times 200. So definitely a big powerhouse, and definitely a card that has you know, definitely has some useful applications here, because it's not hard to get out Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon, and this is basically just a free rank up. I don't love that at the start of the battle phase thing. It's, you know, still a little bit slow, and if it was a quick effect or you could use it during your opponent's turn, it might be better. But this, you know, that's just to give it extra attacks. These abilities here, unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, gains attack equal to combined levels, are all pretty much going to be a lingering effect as long as Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is out as material, and that means that this is basically unaffected by all things, and, you know, your opponent has to use spell or traps to out it versus extra deck monsters, which are typically going to be the most potent way to out problems. It can still be very susceptible to something like Lightning Storm, of course, but it's, you know, it's definitely neat, and it's not as hard to summon as its summoning conditions might make it seem. And then we've got Galaxy Photon Dragon, which is a rank 4 light dragon that needs 2 level 4 monsters. All other light monsters you control gain 500 attack. You can only use the following effects of this card once per turn each. You can attach one material, take one Photon or Galaxy card from your deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Well, that's very good. If a light monster or monsters is special summoned to your field, you can target one of them that has a level, make its level 4 or 8 until the end of this turn. Alright, so this is really solid. It is generic, meaning that if you are playing, you know, a different engine in the deck to accelerate how quickly your plays are going, it's not going to lock. You don't have to use Galaxies or Photons to make this like some of their other Xyzs. Being able to search any Photon or Galaxy card from the deck and either get it in hand or send it to grave is good. It does give you some diversity in terms of making plays with cards like Photon Emperor, while also allowing you to basically get access to any of your spell and trap support, and that's typically where some of Galaxy's strongest cards have come. I do like this a lot. It's probably the best individual card that we've gotten here out of this release. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't really see a ton of things here that allow you to break through opponents' problematic boards or allow you to make strong first turn plays that can kind of set you up to go. And I just worry about that because the way the metagame has shifted to this point, it's very much like either break the board or lose trying. And while this deck looks really fun to play, I don't see enough in terms of additional resources or almost like pseudo overpowered effects that would really allow it to perform at the highest level. So while I do like it a lot, I'm gonna be honest and say I'm a little underwhelmed by the whole bit of support here, but if you're a Photon Galaxy fan, you're probably happy with some of the new cards, and it's definitely going to help the deck. There's no doubt about that. I just don't think it's going to push the deck anywhere near a real competitive level, but I've been wrong before and could certainly be wrong again, so make sure you have your Galaxy soldiers just in case, because it is very cheap right now and typically goes up anytime there's any type of decent support for it. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Please like the video and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these new releases. Am I missing something? It happens a lot. You know, a lot of this is on the fly reactions. I'm following everything that's going on in the meta, but these cards are just announced. We haven't even really had a chance to see them in action yet, so there's no telling exactly how well they're going to combo with stuff until people can get into the lab and actually test. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. This video is brought to you by YourPlaymat.com. Create your own custom playmats, card sleeves, and more by visiting YourPlaymat.com today using the affiliate link in the description below. Use my code LS10YP and save 10% off your purchase while supporting the channel directly. Thanks again to YourPlaymat.com for sponsoring this video.